So the Audi came with the AWE touring exhaust, and the flex pipes on the exhaust are actually totally broken. So here is one of them. As you guys can see, the metal weave is totally non-existent. It is broken on the top flange there. So we will be adding, this is a flex pipe that I picked up at AutoZone, 2.5 inch inlet, 2.5 inch outlet, very similar size to the AWE flex pipe there. We will cut the old flex pipe off that pipe and weld this guy in. What I had to do was actually make a little jig or a template just to keep this flange in the proper position. So we made this guy here. So there is one for each side, so it gives a good reference on where this thing needs to line up. And I left, there is probably 1/8 of an inch gap in there. So we'll bolt it up with some metal shims, just so we can get the pipe out, in and out properly. So it'll sit basically like that with an equal gap all the way around. But yeah, just a welded up little jig, just so we can kind of make sure everything goes together straight, so we know everything will fit just like this pipe fits in the car now. With that flex section being cut and cleaned up, we can go ahead and measure it from end to end. I cut it right at the welds here, and we will apply that measurement to this pipe here. So a ballpark, we'd be cutting about right where this flex section begins. I don't want to lose too much pipe here because it'd be hard to get nuts in and out. Because these things do get pretty wide, so we want to keep as much of a thin area near where the nuts sit, and not have to worry about that. So we'll measure from about where this flex section connects to, it should be pretty close to the corner here, so we can hold that up and just get a ballpark. So yeah, like I was saying, this one's about 2 inches longer, which will give the exhaust a little bit more flex. It's honestly a better thing to have a larger flex section in an exhaust, or even two, than such a small one like that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this guy cut, get this guy in place, and weld it all back together while it is in our jig. So ballpark, we will be running with, it's about 6.5 inches ish. Alright guys, so it is not perfect, but this is it. I'm just holding it together with my hands. I did have to add a spacer because we cut a little bit too much off. However, everything lines up. The end piece is good. The flange is all bolted up with its little spacer piece in there, and everything fits nicely. So I'll just go ahead and tack it all together, so we can pull everything apart, show you guys all of the pieces that we have. So that guy is fixed, and this guy is just resting in its spot, and we can go ahead, put this up to that, and put the spacer piece in. We'll tack everything together, and then we will be ready to weld it all out. steady at work welding, and we actually did get the second downpipe made. So this one is for the, I believe this is the passenger side one. This is the driver's side one that is welded completely around. Probably some of the worst welds that I've laid. It was kind of just a feel out process for how thick the material is. And I think just for this stuff, I do a lot better when you kind of start and stop, just like a quick whip, stop, whip, stop, whip, stop, and it kind of just leaves a flatter, cleaner looking profile. Otherwise it starts gobbing up all weird. Probably just because I have all the settings all wrong on this thing, but yeah, it just really doesn't look nice when I kind of just go at it like just doesn't work. So anyway, this one will probably turn out 10 times better than that one, but yeah, so that one's fully welded. This one we're gonna start welding all the way around. I start it on the stand like this, and then once it's welded more or less like 50%, we can pull it off because it's probably not going to warp any more or whatever. It might not warp anyway, but just as a precaution, I'd like to keep it on this little jig setup and just keep it shape for the initial starting of the weld, and then we can pull it off and weld it all the way around. So yeah, we'll get this thing knocked out real quick and be done for the night. And yeah, we've got one more part done and ready to go on the car.